TSSRovers.com. The Caritas Collective, the Rovers and Florida Advisors. The Rovers thank you. Folks, don't forget to check out the Rovers on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Find out what's happening inside the team.
Hello and welcome to Swangard Stadium. It is the TSS FC Rovers and the Victoria Highlanders tonight, the second game of the three-game set between these two teams for the Battle of the Wanna-Fika Plate. If the Rovers win tonight, they put themselves in good position for the away game in Victoria on Sunday, July 9th. Right now, the Rovers sit on the bottom of the Northwest Division as we bring in Michael McCall, our color man here. Who, for you, would be a key to Victoria's win tonight? Shogoto last game, defender turned forward, scored the winner. Who would you see for Victoria to kind of spearhead the attack tonight for the Highlanders?
I think we're looking again at Go-To and we're looking again at Ofosu to cause a lot of problems for this TSS defence. Go-To, 2 goals so far, started the season as a defender. Dave Dew said that he felt he could make the switch to forward, did that, has scored 2 goals so far, become their leading scorer. So he's definitely a man to watch. Ofosu, I thought the last game though was outstanding for Victoria, especially in the early going. Caused a lot of problems for that TSS backline, and it's a very makeshift TSS team as well.
Yeah.
A lot of changes from the game on Friday.
We'll go over the lineups here for head coach Colin Elms for the TSS Rovers. Up front is Connor Hildebrand, the number 15 for the Rovers. Across the midfield is Mitchell Papadinitz, Connor McMillan, and Ryan Dillon. And the two holding midfielders tonight are Marcelo Polisi. Tim Hickson is making his first start for the Rovers. And across the back, Alejandro Varela at left back, Vajeli Bukas and Andre Barres anchoring the center of the park. And Janko Vong at right back, and Andrew Hicks as well has played every minute of every game for the Rovers. Continues in net for the visiting Victoria Highlanders. Simon Norgrove starts in goal. Stuart Heath, Ryan McCurdy, Blair Sturrock, and Jonas Smith across the back line. Owen Pierce, Eva Batusal, Bartolilo, and Iski Van Dorn across the midfield, and then Shogoto and Andrew Ofosu in a 4-4-2, what should be initially for the Highlanders, as it did start with a 4-3-3 on Friday night. But this is a big game for the Rovers, trying to play spoiler for the Highlanders, who got a heartbreaking final few moments win on Friday night. Shogoto scored that one late on yesterday as well. Portland Timbers beat Lane United 3-0, and guess who? Timbers Vidzi got a goal for Portland, who was outstanding in the two games I should say here at Swangard against the Rovers, Michael, and he and the Timbers have overperformed. They're actually unbeaten in 8 now, so they're for sure up top there, along with Calgary in the Northwest Division PDL standings.
And Calgary got another big win this afternoon against Seattle Sounders, taking 6 points from the Sounders on the Friday-Sunday doubleheader that they had. 1-0 win this afternoon out in Calgary. That's pretty much killed off the Sounders' hopes of lifting the title. They sit in third after 9 games on 13 points. Calgary Foothill still leading the way. 9 games played, 20 points, 1 point behind Portland Timbers. Played 1 game more, but on 19 points. And big games coming up next month. July 8th, July 9th. Calgary Foothills head down to Oregon to take on the Timbers in 2 games on the road. Could be the division clinching games, those.
As we welcome the teams out here, we will have the anthems, and then we'll have the start of the game, the battle for the Wanna-Fika Plate. Thank you for joining us. It's Sunday here at Swangard, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Join Sienna Hagedorn in the singing of O Canada.
Welcome back to Swangard Stadium. Scorcher here, temperatures about to reach about 32 degrees for kickoff as we bring in Michael McCall. We'll talk about the changes here for the Rovers and as well as the sponsors who bring you this match here on YouTube.
So just before we get to talk about the match, just have a few thanks to give out for this stream that you're watching tonight. You can follow all of TSS Rovers, all their news and information, get tickets on tssrovers.com. For all your PDL news, reviews, standings and stats, check out uslpdl.com. Big shout out for TSS Rovers shirt sponsors, Parallel 49 Brewing. Lots of good beers there on sale at the stadium here as well. Shirts supplied by Puma. And we want to also thank Sport Canada for this excellent stream. They've been doing a great job for TSS Rovers this season. Definitely one of the best streams in all of PDL. And this stream and all streams is presented to you by Away From the Numbers, aftn.ca. Follow us online, aftn.ca for all your local news, international news, BC soccer, everything you want about the Whitecaps, TSS Rovers and a lot more. If you want to get in touch with us during the game, you can send me a tweet at AFTN Canada.
At Gideon Hill 18 on Twitter. There was a power show Friday before the game, and hopefully the fireworks stay on the pitch tonight as well between these two teams. Hopefully a rivalry brewing between these two. A couple changes, actually a few changes for head coach Colin Elms for the Rovers, and Joe Waterman, one of them as well. Tim Hickson comes in to make his first start in midfield. Alejandro Varela Vigili Bucas comes in, pushing Alejandro Varela out wide left, which makes Mitchell Papadinets go into an attacking midfielder role for the Rovers, a number 10, if you will, and is dropping out for the Rovers tonight is Daniel Davidson, with Connor Hildebrandt coming in up top as well. And what will be an interesting kind of turn of events here for Hildebrandt, who won BC Soccer Premier League Player of the Year in May, and now he's playing up top for the Rovers here in the USL PDL, 18-year-old, and we'll see what he can do tonight. There'll probably be lots of changes as well with Ryan Dillon on the wings, and see who can probably fit that up top, as well as Papadinets can slide out well out wide, I should say, if the Rovers do need to do that.
There's a lot of changes, as you've said, to the lineup, and spoke to Colin Elms before the game. He's expecting a lot from Connor Hildebrandt tonight. He's a guy that he wants to be able to fit into the starting lineup. He's that key to the team. BC Soccer Adult Player of the Year for 2017. Plays his club soccer with Aldergrove United in the Fraser Valley Soccer League. Was also the Fraser Valley Soccer League Player of the Year. 14 goals for Aldergrove United. So although he's known more as a midfield guy, and a few of those goals were penalties, Hildebrandt definitely knows his way to goal. He's got a sweet foot on him, so watch for him to do some business as well. Mitchell Papadinets as well, the number 22 for TSS Rovers. He's been playing this year as fullback, but his natural position is actually an attacking midfielder. That's where he's played for all his clubs before, including UBC, where he won a 2013 championship. He was also with the Highlanders last season, but used very sparingly, only made 7 limited appearances, and he is really up for this one. He's wanting to show the Highlanders what they lost out on, and he's got a point to prove, and I think we're going to see a lot from Papadinets tonight.
Connor Hildebrandt did come on and play the last 2 minutes for the Rovers last game, and actually hit the post on his left foot late on, and then Shogoto came the other way and scored the winner for the Highlanders. So we get an early free kick for the Highlanders. Head coach Dave Dew, they are kicking off from their blue and white strip from our left to right, and the Rovers in their traditional black and white uniforms from our right to left, as this one played to Blair Sturrock, who started at right wing on Friday night. The 35-year-old now slides into center back, with Eli Jindu going back on the bench for the Highlanders, the visitors here tonight from Swangard Stadium.
And Sturrock's a key guy to get in the Highlanders lineup, but at his age of 35 and in this heat, he's not really going to want to run around much, so centre-back position is probably a really good one for him.
Might as well give him a rest. And early corner kick here for the Highlanders, played out by Alejandro Varela, who last Friday, I should say, against the Portland Timbers U23, looked out of place in right back, and then he slid over to left back and didn't look as well either, and then finally went into center back later on in the game as the corner kick be played in here by Shogoto. Strick went up for the header, drops down for Ryan McCurdy. Northern Irish-born center back has a slip. Picked up nicely by Connor McMillan. He'll try and break. He's got Connor Hildebrandt in acres of space, and he'll play it to him just a bit too far from Connor McMillan to Connor Hildebrandt.
And I was talking again to Colin before the game about Varela, and he actually pointed out to me that fullback is his natural position. I thought it was centre-back, but he is actually a fullback, which is why they've slotted him in there tonight. I do feel he has played better for TSS this year at the centre-back position, but They were very high on what he brought in the second half against Portland, and they were also impressed by how he played against the Highlanders as a centre-back on Friday evening. So it's going to be interesting to see how he fares out there, but he is a natural fullback, so let's see if he can get forward and have a better outing tonight.
Throw in for the Rovers are taken by Janko Vong. Throw towards halfway and settled down nicely there by Stuart Heath to Ofosu. Tim Hickson making his first start for the Rovers. Tattoo filled left arm will play it back to Andrew Hicks. Neon green kit for Rovers, I should say, wearing the number 30. He's now tied for league lead in the USL PDL with saves. Vijeli Bukas didn't start on Friday, didn't come off the bench either, so nice to get him back out there. He's still called captain of the Rovers. Working on Sho Goto, nice pass there to Mitchell Papadinets. If the Rovers can break here, good look to them early on. Papadinets slides in Connor McMillan. Nice turn on his man. Plays into the box there, right to Dillon, cleared away nicely by Iski Van Dorn. Eva Batusal didn't play Friday. The only change he came in for this game, I should say, off the bench. And Sho Goto with a nice turn in midfield. Defender turned forward, goal scorer on Friday. The winner will feed in Owen Pierce down this left wing. Working on Janko Vaughn, couple of step overs. You'll find Stuart Heath. Heath with the long delivery over the head of everybody. It'll be a deep throw in here for the Rovers. 3 minutes gone here from Swangard Stadium.
And it's a very attacking bench that TSS Rovers have tonight. It was one of the issues on the game on Friday. They didn't really have a lot of attacking substitutions that they could bring on, so they only made a handful of substitutions during the game. Tonight, though, you've got Christian Eli Heitinen on the bench, and he's going to be a guy that they're probably going to look towards. You've got Daniel Davidson, who's the team's leading scorer just now, but he did look very out of sorts on Friday night. Yeah,
2 big strikers you can bring off the bench for Colin Elms, the head coach of the Rovers, if they do choose to, depending on the situation. And they've got a number of options as well in the midfield to slide players back, move them out wide. Versatile lineup from the Rovers tonight as well. As the men in black and white will throw it down into the Highlanders half. Hildebrandt pressuring his opposite number 15, Jonas Smith, and he'll play it all the way back into the Rovers half. Vijeli Bukas is there to head it down nicely to Alejandro Varela. 3 changes tonight for the Rovers confirmed. That's Hickson in for Waterman, Davidson out for Hildebrandt, and Papadinets in for Davidson.
And Waterman had played pretty much every minute of every game, bar 7. Quick break here.
Papadinets takes it away from Van Dorn, has a left-footed shot off of Blair Sturrock. The ageless wonder on this Highlanders team. It'll be a corner kick for the Rovers. 4 minutes gone here from Swangard Stadium in a balmy afternoon here. Very humid day in the lower mainland of BC.
You say balmy, I say unbearable.
Not as bad as Arizona, but for us BC people have had a rough winter here. That one whipped in and Andre Berry's off his head for a goal kick. For us BC people had a very rough winter, I should say. It's nice to get some warm weather.
I'm looking forward to the cold weather again. Tomorrow actually is 26 weeks to Christmas, so I'm just counting down the days till we get the snow back.
Always looking forward to something, Michael. Yep. Ryan McCurdy, that is, plays it to Stuart Heath, and then he'll find Iski Van Dorn, the Dutchman, in midfield.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard conditions for both these players, these sets of players out there tonight. Be interesting to see if we also get any water breaks as well during this one.
I did ask Willie before the game. He didn't respond to me yet, but we'll see what happens there as Blair Sturrock will get the ball. He'll find it all the way down the field. Fosu couldn't climb it for the header. Eva Batusal lost it to Marcelo Polisi. McMillan and him play catch, and it's all the way back to Blair Sturrock inside the Highlanders half. He'll again play it forward. Polisi has it down, and Iski Van Dorn will get a touch early on in those neon green boots for the Highlanders.
If you're watching this stream at home, get in touch with us during it at any time. Ask us any questions, anything you want to know, chat about PDL. Get hold of us on Twitter at AFTN Canada.
So on play to Owen Pierce, Andre Bears as well to recover for the Rovers. Watched by Owen Pierce again. Nice turn from Mitchell Papadinets. Marcelo Polisi, nice movement here from Alejandro Varela to free up the space. And Connor McMillan will show short form. Marcelo Polisi back to Connor McMillan. He missed the pass instead of play here for a throw-in for the Highlanders. Really on 6 minutes gone. Eva Batusal will have a go there for Jonas Smith.
And we've got a tweet in already from @ThickUBC who agrees with me, and he's just wanting to bring on the winter storms. So not everyone's a heat lover like you, Gideon.
Hildebrand trying to go up with a much taller Blair Sturrock there. Sturrock does well to win his team a throw. I should say it's a Rover, so nice job there from Connor Hildebrand, who is a smaller guy compared to Davidson and Illy Heitland, but he's done well against the hold-up early on. Papadines to Varela. Nice pass infield to Tim Hickson. University of Alberta Golden Bear product.
CIS championship winner last year with Alberta.
Janko Vong, his teammate there, pulls it back. Nice ball out wide to Ryan Dillon, out of play, and it'll be a throw in again for the Rovers. Keeping good possession here as well. They didn't have a lot of that on Friday, but they also didn't finish their chances when they were presented them, and that's something that Colin Elms sure will pound his team in tonight and try and get them to find the back of the net. They haven't found the back of the net more than 2 times this season. Polisi, that ball drops to him. Try to get a bump from Batusal. He'll leave it out wide for Alejandro Varela. Varela has a look, plays it to Polisi. Back to Varela, Colombian-born. Polisi switches play nicely to Janko Vong. Vong again has Dillon wide open in this right wing. Played low, there's Dillon in the middle, and it's blocked, and Hildebrand again couldn't find the rebound. I should say that was Papadines playing it in his least favorite right foot. Poor ball there from Polisi. It's Marcelo Polisi, Mateo Polisi's brother on the bench tonight. Ryan Dillon to Marcelo Polisi. Nice turn in midfield, and that'll be a free kick here for the Rovers. Nice crowd on hand tonight as the kickoff was pushed back. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, it's a tough sort of crowd to get out tonight, just with the heat, the late kickoff time, and obviously a school day tomorrow for people and work day. But hopefully folk are still coming in, so it should be a good crowd. And TSS Rovers have drawn well this year in their first year. Maybe not hitting the heights that they had hoped for, but it's early days. A Juan de Fuca Plate Cup win, of course, could possibly be the thing that brings lots more people in.
Marcelo Polisi.
One more home game to come after this one, so if you haven't had a chance to get out to the games yet, come along. July 12th, final home game of the season. Seattle Sounders in town. Don't miss that one. Tickets on tssrovers.com. $10, 7 for children. Great fun, great atmosphere, some good football, all local Canadian talent. So if you haven't come out yet, definitely try and come out and see the guys one time before the end of the season.
That's a Wednesday, July 12th, a couple weeks from now.
If you want a double header of football action that day as well, Whitecaps 2 are in action at UBC Thunderbird Stadium with a noon kickoff. Trying to go with the Canadians nooners. they've got 2 of those this season, so
See
we'll
how
see
that works out.
draws.
Yeah. Nice ball on field to Iski Van Dorn. He'll find Sho Goto. Left footer, Japanese born as well. Bartolillo didn't get a lot of the ball, didn't look very good on Friday. McCurdy switches to Blair Sturrock, who certainly a versatile player for his age. Try and play it forward.
Been around the lower leagues in England quite a bit.
Nice settle down there from Eva Batusal. Batusal will try a shot right to the foot of Andre Bears. He'll play in Tim Hickson again. He pokes it right to Connor Hildebrand, who looks out of place a little bit so far. He's missed a couple of chances, but again, the service hasn't necessarily been there for the Rovers this year, especially sitting out Joel Waterman, who has started every game for the Rovers. Nice header down by Andre Bears to the foot of Marcelo Polisi. Papadines with a turn. Polisi, left-footed ball over the top for Ryan Dillon. That's a beautiful ball from Polisi. Dillon working in on McCurdy, and a wonderful tackle from McCurdy. Will be a corner kick for the Rovers once again, who are putting the pressure on the visiting Highlanders here, who might be a little tired and from the heat and also playing 2 days ago.
They certainly haven't come out all guns blazing like they did on Friday. The heat might be playing into that.
Corner kick from the Rovers will be taken by Mitchell Papadines.
Crowd getting into this one, as you can possibly hear.
Right for the ball from Papadines to Varela, who had a couple good headers on Friday. One went wide, one nicely saved by Norgrove, the Highlanders keepers. Connor McMillan on the turn. Hildebrand shows wide for him. It's a nice ball from McMillan as Hildebrand skips a tackle. Ball in there for Bears, and McMillan will try and climb. It's grabbed down there by Norgrove, and he'll feed Jonas Smith right away for the Highlanders. Varela comes flying in.
Crunching tackle there from Varela. I'd like to see that in a local derby.
Did get the ball, but referee didn't like how aggressive he was, and he'll be a throw in here for the Highlanders.
No card though, so that's a good one. But it's nice to see a little bit of aggression out there. I was bemoaning the fact that it wasn't that feisty a a local derby on Friday, so let's hope we see a bit more of that tonight.
Lee Blair Sturrock, who else on the free kick for the Highlanders? A lot of bodies up forward as well. One person to mention for Victoria who will surely strengthen the squad that they signed still hasn't cleared his ITC yet. That is Fabian Kuramata from New Zealand, born in Japan. So that'll be someone that will hopefully strengthen the squad. Come their road trip is not available tonight, obviously, but hopefully see him later on this season for the Highlanders.
Yeah, I spoke to Highlanders head coach Dave Dew after the game on Friday. He told me about the signing. Hopes he's going to be available by Wednesday. And this is the second of a grueling 6-game road stretch for the Highlanders, so he's going to be a key guy.
Lucas over the top. Smith took down McMillan. He was the last man, but again, McMillan did not have the ball, so it'll just be a free kick for the or I should say for the Rovers. Inside the Highlanders half, the Rovers in black and white, and the Highlanders in the blue and white as well.
And no card coming out there, which surprises me. The ref's clearly wanting to keep it in the pocket as long as he can. But this is definitely a good chance for TSS Rovers to try and get something going from this. Maybe look to see Varela getting in the box again.
It'll be hard for him to kind of pressure the box of the opposing team, as he is an outside back, so it'll leave a hefty gap in his side of the field, the left back tonight for the Rovers.
But he has moved into the box here, and you're looking at that, possibly see how Bears can do with this one as well.
2 fouls apiece so far for both teams. Polisi with a wonderful ball in. Norgov will have to back up. It was nicely done there from Polisi. Either it was a shot or a free kick, or I should say a pass, and either way it flowed into Norgov's breadbasket, and he'll play it along right away to Ryan McCurdy.
It's good to see Marcello Polisi out there for the second straight match. Only his third appearance of the season. Got sent off in his debut, but he's had an injury. Also was injured in his freshman year at SFU last season, so didn't get a lot of time there.
Nice touch from Heath to Pierce. Stuart Heath will have to settle down. Back to on Pierce to hear the drum of the Highlanders supporters tonight. Pierce with a nice ball low to Ofosu. Ofosu with a nice touch leaves it there for Iski Van Dorn. Or I should say that's Bartolillo to Iski Van Dorn, and there's Blair Sturrock settling it down for the Highlanders. Again tries to service high, headed away by Andre Bears right down to the foot of Pierce, who volleys it over. Be a goal kick for the Rovers, I should say. 14 minutes gone here from Swangard Stadium.
And the Highlanders fans really, really like tonight. Not as many of them as there actually was on Friday, because with the game being pushed back, it is going to mean that they're not going to make it for the last ferry, most likely. Highlanders are staying overnight, so that's not an issue for the players.
Andre Bears are playing Andrew Hicks, I should say, right away. And Alejandro Varela again wide open here. The Rovers did have a lot of space on Friday that they didn't penetrate, which they sure talked about yesterday or even today, and try and play in that space. Vijeli Bukas, a nice switch from Bears and Hicks. Vijeli Bukas, right-footed ball over the top. It's another good idea from the Rovers center back, but Blair Sturrock playing well above his years there, or below his years, I should say. Wins the free kick or a goal kick for the Highlanders. 15 minutes gone from Swangard. Scoreless here on a very humid day in Burnaby.
And Vijeli Bukas, one of a number of Whitecaps residency alumni on the pitch for TSS Rovers tonight. 6 altogether in the squad. Marcello Polisi is another one. Andre Bears, he's another highly touted sort of centre-back that came out of the residency programme with Green Bay, Wisconsin University right now.
Bukas with a nice ball over there for Sturrock, who has to head it down for Norgrove. If you're looking for maybe a Zach Verhoeven, a Karn Figueroa, or Kerman Panu, they are away with UBC. They won their first game of the University Cup in Shanghai, I should say Beijing, and they won 9-0. Verhoeven scored in that game. That's a big tackle from Evan Batusal. Two-footed it on Alejandro Varela. Might see the first card of the game here from the referee.
You would hope so, because that really was a horrendous tackle, but referee's not showing any signs that he is going to be bringing a card out here. And you're talking about UBC, they had their second game today against Melbourne University. They drew that 0-0. So one extreme to the other, 9 goals in their first game, none in their second game.
Sure, they rested a few players. A tough, long flight over there, 14-hour flight. Fitting that the sound of an ambulance plays while Varela is down there. Be a free kick right in front of the Rovers bench as Varela takes his sweet time getting up for the Rovers.
And we had a tweet here from @Victoria Gunner, Mike, who wants to know who the referee is today. And it's a local guy. He's been at a lot of games. The referee is Darnell Smith. The assistants are Mitchell Delgado and Marco Arruda.
Alejandro Varela plays it all the way down. Shogoto got off his left foot, gave it away to Ryan Dillon. He'll try and find Connor Hildebrand, who's working on the bigger Ryan McCurdy. Shogoto, the forward, drops back nicely, as it looks like Goto slidden into the left midfield role here, and Pierce is slidden up top with Ofosu. Might change there again. Throw in here for Stuart Heath, all the way back to Ryan McCurdy, born in Belfast. Batusal off his chest, nice ball to Van Dorn. He'll play in Jonah Smith. Quick break for the Highlanders here. Smith plays Ofosu. Big forward for the Highlanders. Nice ball from McMillan. Fancied Alejandro Varela. Does a good job to shed the tackle of Ofosu. He'll find Marcelo Polisi. Polisi has men with him. He'll play in Andre Bears. Back to Marcelo Polisi, who he and his brother started for the first time together with the Rovers. They now play together at SFU Clan. Played at in youth levels. As here's Vajeli Bukas. Switches the play to Andre Bears. Ryan Dillon and McMillan, Connor McMillan, have held their positions early on. We thought they might switch, but they're doing a good job of it now as McMillan gets the ball deep in the left side of the Highlanders half. Plays in Papadinets. Nice turn, but Tussaud as well to shed the tackle of Papadinets. He'll play in Blair Sturrock again.
And talking of Blair Sturrock, Highlanders just wanted to point out that he is only 35. He isn't 1,000 years old, and he can still play.
Owen Pierce to Shogoto. Goto to Stuart Heath. McCurdy, Blair Sturrock and Ryan McCurdy make a good pairing at center back so far. Sturrock plays it downfield to Vajeli Bukas, who over his head, no Ofosu, if he wasn't falling down, what might have gotten there, but either way, Hicks will pick it up. Ofosu looked very good on Friday. Didn't play the full 90 minutes, I should say. Taken off for Solomon Constant, who might see tonight.
I think part of that was with an eye to the game tonight, not wanting him to go the full 90 minutes. He did look dangerous. Product of Sheffield Hallam University. He's still there just now. Played in 6 games so far for the Highlanders this season. He has dotted around the kind of non-league scene in England, but happy at Sheffield Hallam University. Englishman, one of 2 on the team, both of them from Sheffield Hallam University. Eva Batusio is the other one.
Iski Van Dorn will find Ryan McCurdy. Blair Sturrock, who Highlanders have kept their own possession here. The visitors, Victoria, nice long ball towards Owen Pierce, off the head of Janko Vong.
I think it's the pace just now that is going to suit the Highlanders more than it is going to suit TSS.
TSS were definitely on the attack, and given the conditions tonight, they might settle back a bit and take the possession, go back and forth. As here's Pierce for Ofosu. Got some space here. Nice tackle from Vajeli Bukas, not afraid. And nicely done by Bukas, but go right to Papadinets, who 3-on-2 break here for the Rovers if they hurry. Van Dorn hustles back nicely for the Highlanders. Here's Ryan Dillon working on McCurdy. Dillon on the outside of McCurdy. And the big Irishman will make a nice tackle. It'll be another corner for the Rovers. And it'll be the 3rd corner of the night for the men in black and white.
Ryan Dillon, we've seen his electric pace for the last 5 years at SFU. He's a guy that can run at players. He's great with a little turn going inside, and he has got a sweet finish on him. Number of goals, former SFU clan captain. Was in trial with WFC2 at the start of this season, and it looks like he's going to go with a training stint with him at the end of the TSS season as well.
Corner played in by Papadinets. Hildebrand was there, Varela as well, and McMillan will take it against McCurdy. Nice ball to Marcelo Polisi. Polisi back to McMillan if he can play the service in. He does. Nice right-footed ball, looking for Papadinets. Headed down by Varela again. He gets on the end of his 3rd cross in 2 games for the Rovers. This time stopped by Norgrove. Rovers play away next, and then 2 away, I should say. Then they play the last home game on Wednesday, July 12th. McCurdy to Iski Van Dorn. And Dorn out. Nice ball on the outside of his right foot to Jonah Smith, who can't keep it in off his shin guard. And it'll be a throw in here for the Rovers.
You're all surprised seeing TSS wearing their black kits tonight. I thought they would maybe have gone with their red just with the heat.
Sure, Colin won't hesitate to make a change for the Rovers if he sees something that he doesn't like. They have done that before, especially a couple weeks ago, I should say 3 weeks ago now, when they played the Timbers U23 when Polisi got sent off. They made a change right away. Hildebrand off his head to Tim Hickson, who tried to find Ryan Dillon. Scoring has been a problem for the Rovers, especially in the first half, but they've given up a lot in overall. As Jankovong plays in Tim Hickson. Should say he finds Marcelo Polisi. He'll find Tim Hickson. Look good early on for the Rovers, making his first start. He's made a couple appearances off the bench. Hasn't found a lot of playing time behind Joel Waterman, who I'm sure we'll see tonight for Gilles Bucas. Alejandro Varela. Great switch to Ryan Dillon.
Lovely ball out wide here to Dillon.
Played a great ball last game as well as Dillon brings in Janko Vong. Vong with a towering ball over the top. It'll roll out here. That was a good chance of the Rovers if the ball from Vong was right, but that one floats out for a goal kick for Simon Norgrove early on here. 23 minutes gone from Swangard Stadium.
Definitely a heavy touch there from Vong. Bit of a waste, really good opportunity for TSS there. And you talked about their goal scoring. They've played 10 games. They've only scored 11 goals in those 2 games. Or 10 games. 21 against. They have struggled for goals. They have 5 goals sitting on the bench, 3 from Daniel Davison, 2 from Christian Elihaitanen. So they do at least have a goal threat to bring on if needed.
Doesn't help when you lose Amamadi Kamara for the season, or Zach Verhoeven away. Hopefully they'll be back in time for the last game of the season against the Sounders.
The hope is that they're going to be back for the games on the 9th and 12th of July, so they will be back for the last game against the Highlanders over at Centennial Stadium. And hopefully their Juan de Fuca plate is still on the line for that one. If TSS Rovers can get a win tonight, it's all up for grabs in the last game. Even a draw is going to make it up for grabs, but they would need to win on the road. 2-goal win though tonight for TSS Rovers would put them in the lead, and then only needing a draw in Victoria. So that could be a great game for fans to get over to have a nice weekend in Victoria, see some local football action. What more could you ask for?
Don't look at the away stats in the season for the Rovers. They have yet to win a game, but yeah. For sure that'll give some fans some adage to get out there and try and support the home team tonight. That is Sunday, July 9th.
It's a season off first, so they still have to get their first away win. So they've not got many more chances to do it. 2 more away games coming up, 1 at the Sounders, 1 at Victoria.
They're also trying to get that first more than 2-goal game for the Rovers. Had some exciting draws at home there. I should say, I almost said undefeated at home, but they lost last game against the Highlanders. 3 draws, 1 win, 1 loss at home. Iski Van Dorn. A wide to Jonas Smith, and again, a lot of passes have gone awry for both teams tonight. A lot of tiredness. Playing 2 games in 3 days doesn't help. Connor McMillan. Iski Van Dorn steps into that one, but Tusaw lost it to McMillan, who's done well on that left side moving in as well. And the ball didn't find Papadinets. Pierce will play it all the way back to Simon Norgrove.
It's a problem teams like Victoria Highlanders and Calgary Foothills have. It's a lot of travel for them in this league. Still better than playing in some other leagues that they could possibly play in, but it's a lot of travel. It's very tiring, it's expensive, so it sort of necessitates having 2-3 games in a short period of time. Highlanders are going to get used to that now with a big stretch of away games coming up over the last couple of weeks of the season.
Andre Bears. They play Wednesday as well to the Highlanders away. That makes 3 games in 5 days for them. Hickson. Alejandro Varela. Good, nice play from Varela. Skips the challenge of Smith, and the forward of Fosu came back well to cover Varela, who, as Batusal works up, he and Fosu looks like they're going to switch here, but they'll go back to their positions.
Varela's definitely having a better outing at fullback this evening. This is more what he's about, and was the reason that Colin Elms and Will Cromack brought him into the TSS side midway through the season. Well, that and necessity, because they have been down to bare bones, especially on the defensive side.
Norgrove gets that one down. Can't play with his hands as it was a pass back. McCurdy will play it away. The head of Stuart Heath, who plays in Owen Pierce. Back to Stuart Heath, and Vong steps in. Shogoto gets it back for the Highlanders, and out of play again. Another pass goes out of play. Hicks finding some being a mainstay, I should say, in goal for the Rovers after probably not being the number one guy with Chad Bush in the UBC initially on the roster. They had to take him off as it didn't work out for him to join the team. Just didn't make sense with them leaving. But nice to see Hicks step up, and poor Aiden Bain, who seems like a backup for every team he plays. Foul there from Owen Pierce on Marcelo Polisi. We have a free kick here for the Rovers. 27 minutes gone. Foul count is 4 for Victoria, 2 for the Rovers.
And the crowd has filled out nicely here, as we thought. Typical Vancouver area crowd coming in late for games, no matter when it starts. Even if they push back an hour, they still come in a little bit late.
Not sure what happened here. I think Ofosu found his man off the ball. Either way, it'll be whistle blown from the referee.
Still no cards being shown. So I kind of like a referee that doesn't show a card too early, because once you do that, it sets the tone for the game. They have to kind of bring the cards out for every little thing. But there has been a couple of crunching tackles that possibly did merit a card coming out.
Dillon tried to find Hildebrandt. The pass was behind him again. Iski Van Doren trying to find Ofosu, who's breaking quickly. Nice interception there from Marcelo Polisi. Daniel Davidson has 3 goals in the season and become leading scorer for the Rovers. He technically has 4, but the goal he scored in the first game of the season was taken off due to his inability to, well, he was an ineligible player, but they didn't get his ITC in time for that game. Ryan Dillon and Janko Wong interchange here. Nice step over from Ryan Dillon. Dillon floats in across, and Hildebrandt taken down.
Hildebrandt goes down there looking for a penalty, but nothing called.
Speaking of penalties, Whitecaps got themselves one last night. Hopefully the Rovers can follow suit with that. It seems early in the season there was a lot of penalties given for and against the Rovers, and looks like that's settled down now with different referees rotating in through matches, but certainly settled down for both teams. And Rovers have now defended a little smarter than they did earlier in the season, usually flying into tackles, but they've certainly found a way how to do it with the midfield coming back and supporting the defense. Here's Blair Stirrup. Plays it towards halfway. Sho Godo tried to get the header down. Eva Patusal applying Sho Godo back to Andrew Ofosu. Off of Alejandro Varela. He's happy to settle for a corner. Ofosu. Available subs tonight for the Rovers: Joel Waterman, Daniel Davidson, Matteo Polisi, Christian Ili Heitnen, and Takta Saka. And goalkeeper, I should say, Aiden Bain. Godo, nice left-footed ball looking for Ofosu. Went for the header. Owen Pierce drops down for him, has a shot. Nice save from Andrew Hicks. My goodness. What a save from Hicks, who had to reach out and stop Owen Pierce to fire that one far side, and Hicks did a nice job to get down and get it out for the Rovers, and it's cleared for a corner for the Highlanders.
It was nice work by Pierce there, pouncing on a defensive mistake by TSS with the slip on the edge of the box, and I thought Goto could possibly have gone in for the rebound a little bit quicker than he did, but it allowed TSS to clear.
Godo. They always look for that far kick to McCurdy, and it gets there. McCurdy with a nice volley to Godo. Played back and forth here. Godo, lovely left-footed ball. It's floating up. Hicks has to get there, and a nice job to see it for Hicks, who neon green jersey surely stands out for the Rovers.
Human highlighter, and he's definitely been the highlight of TSS Rovers season this year.
Alejandro Varela to Mitchell Papadinitz. Papadinitz on the turn. Finds the Born center back, Tim Hickson. Rovers trying to get themselves out of their own half, I should say. They've had trouble with that tonight. Andre Bears. Crossfield ball for Connor McMillan. They'll settle it down nicely. Nice ball to Papadinitz. Hickson. Got some space. And it's another poor ball from Hickson. It's Iski Van Doren on the break. Varela slips. And it'll roll back for Connor McMillan. Nice turn from McMillan to Andrew Hicks. 31 minutes gone from Swangard, scoreless. Rovers in the black and white, and the Highlanders in the white and blue. Papadinitz to Marcelo Polisi. Play is certainly slowing down given the conditions tonight.
I feel I'm slowing down here in the commentary box. You're having a seat at least.
Hildebrand to Papadinitz. Papadinitz skips 2 tackles and again gave it away right to Owen Pierce. Service tonight for the Rovers has not been great. Here's Jonas Smith. Sure they'll have some kind of ice bath or something at halftime for the players. Hickson got the ball nicely there from the referee. I should say the referee waved that it was a. Got the ball, and here comes Janko Vong.
C-Mac coming in at the back here, if they can find him. He's just coming in unmarked. Could be a guy to watch.
Marcelo Polisi, fancy ball. And Ryan Dillon couldn't get there, and it's Owen Pierce. Dillon comes back there and forces a bad pass from Owen Pierce. And Ofosu can chase, but he doesn't get there. And the Rovers will keep possession once again. Janko Vong to Tim Hickson. Marcelo Polisi back to Tim Hickson. And he'll play an Andre Bears. Vijeli Bukas, the Trinity Western player. UBC actually announced a signing this week. A guy named Patrick Izzet, who actually was supposed to play for the Rovers. It didn't work out, as again, like Chad Bush, but certainly be a player to watch.
Slightly different, though. In Izzet's case, he got a job for the summer. So, I mean, it's hard. These guys are basically having to turn down work for the summer. None of these players are paid. And it's like you have to want to play for the love of football and your own future development, which all these TSS Rovers guys have done.
Janko Vong. Nice step over. And Stuart Heath did a good job to win it back. Marcelo Polisi.
Because under NCAA rules, none of the players that are with the colleges there can play in a team alongside paid professionals. But Willie and Colin wanted to put together a team that was solely doing it because they're wanting to advance themselves. And that's part of the reason for the squad rotation tonight. They feel there's no point in having a squad and there's no point being in a development league if you're not allowing the players to play and get that development.
Batusal feeds Ofosu. Owen Pierce. Nice heel flick to Godo. And then he finds Barlelo, who had to get the ball deflected off his chest. Barlelo, a nice right-footed ball, and Ofosu trying to climb up. Vong missed the ball. Batusal plays it wide of the goal.
Oh, dangerous ball across goal there. No takers. Ofosu knows that was one that he could possibly have gotten the end of there. And good chance there for Victoria, and a let-off really for Rovers that there was nobody there to pounce on that opportunity.
Batusal came in to tonight's game for Eli Jindo, I should say.
Oh, here you go again. I thought you weren't going to have to mention him, but you had to bring him up.
So that forced Blair Sturrock to go to centre back tonight. They changed up their formation a little bit as well, going to 4-4-2.
35-year-old Blair Sturrock. I kind of feel that he's the Alphonso Davies of this Highlanders side, that we just have to keep mentioning his name now.
Batusal with a shot just over the goal.
That was a lovely strike there from Batusal, just inches past the left-hand post. I think Hicksy possibly had it covered, but it was certainly a fantastic strike. Looked like it was heading to the top corner when it left his boot there.
Andre Bears and Vijeli Bukas, the centre backs tonight. They even do a 3-5-2 if Willie and Colin wanted to.
I pitched that idea to them actually, and
sure it got turned down.
being diplomatic, he doesn't feel that they have the smarts to pull that off right now. Just because they've not been together a lot and they've not played together a lot, so he just doesn't feel that it was something that would work tonight. A possible 5-3-2 would have been good to just allow your wingers to kind of go up and back, but possibly a bit too defensive for a home game that you have to at least get something from to keep yourself in the one if you could play.
The one if you could play is something that the Rovers want to win right now, unable to make the playoffs or anything. They're stuck on 3 points for the season.
Lost their undefeated home record as well, so this is their last hope for the season.
Bartolillo, McMillan.
But it's all about development, it's not about winning. We have to point that out.
Yeah. Be a throw-in for the Rovers. McMillan and Pierce had a couple words there. It'll be a throw-in. In black and white here from Swangard Stadium. This is the second last home game for the Rovers. The next one Wednesday, July 12th against the Seattle Sounders U23, the pesky Sounders 23. As they did lose a couple of games on Friday and today against Calgary, who seem to be one of the better teams again in the Northwest Division.
Doing Canada proud for the second season running, hoping to clinch back-to-back PDL Northwest Division titles and back-to-back Western Conference titles, and looking to go one further than their heartbreaking championship game loss to the Michigan Bucks last season.
They did not have young midfield starlet Bruno Zebi yesterday, or I should say today. He played for FC Edmonton yesterday. As Andre Bears, the center back, says screw it and brings it up the field nicely down there to Connor Hildebrandt. Sturrock and Van Dorn come together, but it floats out to Alejandro Varela. Bear stays up the field, and why not? As the Rovers try to get something here.
Partly to keep the danger going, partly because it's very tiring to do that run and try and get back.
He'll finally mosey on his way back for the Rovers, and Janko Vong will play it to Ryan Dillon. He's been all over the place for the Rovers, covering for mistakes as Polisi played to Vijeli Bukas.
Switching it nicely here. Varela was in lots of room out here on the left, hoping he can do something with it now.
4 shots apiece for both sides as they try to get one back here. Hasn't been a shot in a while for either side. It's Polisi with a nice ball to Ryan Dillon. He's onside here for the Rovers. Dillon outweights Norgove, and again the touch was too far, and I think Dillon knows that he made the wrong play there. Could have chipped the keeper or passed it off, but either way, the Rovers get their best chance of the game, and a beautiful ball over the top from Connor McMillan.
SFU Clan connection there. They didn't get a chance to play very much last season because of Polisi's injury, but Dillon, captain of SFU Clan, he's just finished his senior year, so he's looking to put himself in the shop window. Had an injury that saw him miss a lot of this year. Unfortunately, though, he's not really up to full match sharpness yet, so they're hoping that a couple of games and we're going to see the Ryan Dillon that we know he can be.
Always tough to get your match fit in his back, I should say, after missing a lot of time.
Just lacking a little bit of sharpness as we saw there, but a beautiful ball over the top from Polisi. It shows what he's capable of. He was a standout player for the Whitecaps under 18s. Went all the way to the Whitecaps under 18 championship game in the USSDA last season. Talking about heartbreaking losses, that was one for the Caps 18 stoppage time loss, or injury time loss I should say, to FC Dallas.
Papadinets to McMillan, Alejandro Varela in the left wing. Plays a low cross right to Papadinets. Has a shot, it's blocked. Nicely done there by Ryan McCurdy, the captain of the Highlanders, getting down. Nice bit of possession there. Turn over to Hildebrand. Hildebrand finds Ryan Dillon. Dillon on the turn. Back to Tim Hickson. Hickson to Marcelo Polisi. Finds McMillan, then to Polisi. Or I should say it was Ryan Dillon. Polisi lost it to Van Dorn, who's been very good so far tonight for the Highlanders. New signing on July 16th. Bukas beat Godo and Van Dorn with the pass and chipped over the top by Papadinets. Again, good idea. He's looked very good in that attack midfield role for the Rovers so far.
He's coming more into the game. He hit quite a start. I think he's kind of finding himself at this level. He's a guy that plays for Thomson Rivers University out in Kamloops, so they're hosting the CIS Nationals, or U Sports Nationals as I should call it now. So his team will be in that, so that's a great opportunity for Thomson Rivers and Papadinets.
Pierce steps a couple men and...
Oh, lucky Varela didn't catch him there. I thought he had just had a little touch. Other players would have gone down there, so credit to Pierce for not doing that.
Ball went off of Varela's foot and off the chest of Pierce, and unfortunately for the hair-banded player from Victoria, he'll let it go to Andrew Hicks for a goal kick. 39 minutes gone here from Swangard Stadium. Scoreless in a game that is surely slowing down for the first 10 minutes of the frantic pace here so far.
And we'll just give another shout out to the jersey sponsors of TSS Rovers, Parallel 49 Brewing. Check them out on parallel49brewing.com. Large range of lagers and ales and cider and stuff that they produce, so check them out. Jerkface 3000, one of their more popular ones.
Ofosu gets the ball on a turnover from Godo. Ofosu working in, he's got Godo wide open. Plays it far side to Batusal, and a good defending there from Janko Vong, who stepped in front of Batusal. Goal side of him as well, and Rovers will get a free kick and they'll play it quickly to Alejandro Varela. 5 minutes to go in regular time in this first half.
Thankfully no goal there for the Highlanders, because the replays and all the stuff on Twitter would have cut to me just saying Jerkface 3000. No one would have known what I was talking about. Think I'm talking about Caleb Porter, but it's not actually named after him.
Janko Vong will get possession for the Rovers. Speaking of Caleb Porter, his Timbers and the Sounders in action tonight in the Cascadia Derby.
Which I've just remembered I forgot to PVR.
I forgot to as well, but thankfully someone was home to do that for me, as Papadinets will let that one go off for a Rovers corner kick. And that is 4 for the Rovers so far, 2 for Victoria Highlanders.
I'll just let you talk for a bit while I go into my optic remote and just record this rest of this game here.
Saw a picture on Twitter of the temperature reader. It was 68 degrees at 2 p.m. That was when the game was supposed to be on.
You need to
Portland,
put that in Celsius for me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is
Portland.
60, yeah, Celsius. As McMillan up there and a header down and just wide from Varela.
Close. Another great header from Varela.
That's his 4th in 2 games. The Rovers, 2 of them have been on target, 2 of them off. And Good idea from the Colombian-born.
Looking a fantastic aerial threat.
Good old how wide do you want the net from the Victoria Highlanders fans?
Another 2 feet would have been nice, I think.
Only one can hope for.
Well, they're looking to change the rules of the game with the IFAB report that came out. They didn't mention expanding the size of the goals. We could maybe suggest that to them.
Varela with a nice touch, gets away from Jonas Smith. Hildebrand. Maybe he went the wrong way there as he trips over his own feet. Turns on it. Away from Van Dorn to Tim Hickson.
Nicely done by Hildebrand there to keep the move going.
Hickson to Ryan Dillon. Dillon steps inside on his man. And nobody there for the ball from Dillon. Another frustrating play there for the Rovers. Pierce, right-footed ball, and didn't find the run of Stuart Heath. Andre Bears steps away from his man to Alejandro Varela. Not many options for him up front as the Highlanders doing a good job of coming back and marking. Looks like Ofosu, the only man up top right now. It looks like a 4-3-3 as well for the Highlanders. Andre Bears out wide for Connor McMillan. Another good switch from Bears. And McMillan to Varela. Chip ball from Varela right to Dillon, and again, good idea from the Rovers and just out of the reach of Dillon, who was breaking there. Might have gotten in touch on that one. Stuart Heath. Bartolillo leaves it there for McCurdy. Back to Bartolillo. Number 8 for the Highlanders. Part of Alberta provincial team. Jonas Smith. And Ofosu. Ofosu out of play nicely by Vajeli Bukas. A throw in here for the Highlanders deep in the Rovers half, who have only tested Hicks once, and a wonderful save from the neon green clad goalkeeper. Spectacular save on Owen Pierce, who read the mistake from Janko Vom well and had a left-footed shot well saved by Hicksy. Throwing for Jonas Smith deep in the Rovers half. Pierce shows form and he gets the ball back to Smith. Working in the corner is Jonas Smith. And it'll be a free kick here for the Rovers. 44 minutes gone here from Swangard Stadium. Still scoreless in a game that is slowing down to a walking pace here in Burnaby.
And I'm happy now I've got my PVR recorded for the Sounders Timbers game.
Van Dorn intercepts Connor McMillan to Bartolillo. Bartolillo sidesteps one. Got it to Van Dorn. Van Dorn to Ofosu off the back of his head. Hicks will come out, and Stuart Heath, I should say, was pressing, and Hicks right away will find Ryan Dillon. Dillon to Marcelo Polisi. Back to Ryan Dillon. Not the best idea from Polisi as McCurdy stepped in well.
It does probably explain why we haven't had as many tweets at us tonight, because I think more folk are probably watching the MLS game than this online. Hopefully folk have got them both up. If you do want to get in touch with us during the stream, get in touch with us at AFTN Canada on Twitter. I want to thank Sports Canada for putting this stream together. Check them out on sportscanada.tv. If you want to get some filming for your events and your games, that's the ideal place to go. They've been fantastic with their streams for TSS Rovers this year.
At Gideon Hill 18 on Twitter for myself, as Andre Bears will control the play here for the Rovers to Janko Vong. Couldn't sidestep Owen Pierce. And Shogoto will get it back, the hero for the Highlanders. I think I had a very good celebration on Friday after he found the winner. It's looking like Goto might find the winner again here, as the way he's playing so far has been good for the Highlanders. As Dylan will get a throw in here. 45 minutes gone. We'll see how many minutes of added time we have.
And you felt on Friday it was a one-goal game. We talked about that during the broadcast. This has the makings of another one-goal game, if anything. At the moment, a no-goal game does look to be on the cards. It's going to take an injection of pace or magic or something to do this, and we might have it here from Marcello Polisi.
Nice move from Polisi. Gets away to this man and the referee. Finds Varela back to Polisi, and he fell down. It was a nice play from Polisi, and the Highlanders can break here if they hurry. It's Owen Pierce. Cuts it back, won't have time, and that's the first half. Highlanders nothing. Rovers nothing here from Swangard Stadium in a very humid and hot afternoon here from Swangard Stadium. We'll see you back in the second half for the battle between these two for the Wanda Fuca plate.
The Rovers 0, Highlanders 0.
show, but be on that side all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your TSS Rovers.
Right! Send Solomon here! Solomon! Come here! Is he all right there? Darnell, is he all right there? Okay.
Sorry if I'm way less friends. I got bills trying to I spilled all my emotions tonight, I'm sorry. Rolling, 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 rolling. How many more shots until you're rolling? You just need face to face.
Welcome back to Swangard Stadium. Scoreless here between the Highlanders and the TSS FC Rovers on a Sunday night. The Rovers did make one change at half. That's Tim Hickson coming off, who probably isn't up to full fitness after not playing most of the season. Joe Waterman, the mainstay in the Rovers midfield, comes in at halftime. As we have some first half stats, if we can get those, Michael. So it's one save for the Rovers so far, 2 for Victoria, 4 corners for the Rovers, 2 for Victoria. Shots are 5-4 in favor of the Rovers, and the fouls are 2 for the Rovers and 7 for the Highlanders.
No offside so far in this game. Probably because the pace is making everyone really slow for running around. Went down at the concourse, and it isn't as hot as I thought. It's not as hot as it is up here in the commentary box for certain. But it's actually quite manageable down there. And it's overcast now, so the sun's not beating down on them. So we might see a faster pace in this half, especially with the pace and the players that TSS Rovers have on the bench.
Feel like a Christmas turkey cooking in here. This is the ball for Stuart Heath. After playing Ryan McCurdy. Pressured nicely by Connor Hildebrand, who did have a long chat with Colin Elms and Willie Cromack at halftime about positioning and whatnot, as they did as well before the game. So maybe a new position for him to be playing striker.
Yeah, he's not used to doing that. He's a holding midfielder, central midfielder, attacking midfielder. That's the 3 roles I've seen him play. His probably ideal position is just a central midfielder with a free role, kind of roaming about. Doesn't have the chance to do that playing straight up top. And I do wonder if he might possibly drop back, maybe take Mitchell Papadinets off for one of the strikers of Davison or Ayla Heighton, and then keep Hildy on to play that number 10 role that he does so well.
He hasn't got a lot of time with Verhoeven really playing well, but tries to get some here as Jonas Smith will intercept that attempted pass to Marcel Police, who ended the half for the Rovers with an outstanding Maradona. Beat 2 Victoria Highlanders defenders clean as this one right to Shogoto's foot. The left footer will have to turn around, finds Ofosu.
Lovely ball through here to Ofosu.
Ofosu's onside, plays it in over the goal, and it'll be a corner kick for the Highlanders.
Delightful through ball there to set that move up, and both teams looking a little bit sharper. Highlanders didn't do a lot in that first half, but they are looking lively to start the second.
Third corner of the game for the visiting Highlanders. Solomon Constant as well came on for the Highlanders at halftime for Eva Batusal. Looks like he'll go a wide left here. Dave Dew changes things up, trying to foil the Rovers. This one long towards McCurdy off a Highlander and out of play for a goal kick for Andrew Hicks. For sure, it was a good start to the match for the Rovers. They had a couple of chances. Hildebrand had one, Ryan Dillon with another, and it was kind of here and there chances for the Rovers in that first half in regards to timing. And they had a good chance as well through Ryan Dillon. He put it wide of the net. It is nice move by Dillon on Heath and lost the ball on his feet. Heath plays it right to Iski Van Doren, then again to Stuart Heath, who fell down on the newly watered grass and sidesteps Ryan Dillon as the ball is out of play.
And we have a tweet here from Wes Barrett at WBarrett76 asking if we possibly know how old Blair Sturrock is, because we haven't mentioned it enough in this podcast. I do believe he's 35. Might have to check that though.
Janko Vong. Working away on his man. That's Solomon Constant, the new substitute for the Highlanders. He'll show Godo, the winner of the game for the Highlanders last Friday. Solomon Constant. Working on Janko Vong. He'll win his team at corner, will Solomon Constant of the Highlanders.
4th corner of the game for the Highlanders coming up here.
Constant took off of a 2-stall halftime, if you're wondering, who captained Sheffield University. Warren Pierce still playing the right-footed ball. Had a good game on Friday, hasn't been playing that well tonight. Blair Sturrock, aforementioned Ageless Wonder, right off the chest of McMillan, who left foots the ball away. Ski Van Dorn will have a touch. Nice ball to Ryan McCurdy. Big guy light in his feet, plays it wide. Godo with the ball into Fosu. Drop down, Bartolillo will settle it down. Left-footed shot just over Hicks's goal. He didn't know much about it, did Andrew Hicks, and a nice falling down chip shot from Francisco Bartolillo will get a corner, or I should say goal kick for the Rovers here with 50 minutes gone from Swangard Stadium.
A lot of pressure from the Highlanders to start this half off, and TSS struggling to get the ball out defence there, just keeping the pressure on themselves. They're going to have to, I mean, they're playing well defensively, but they need to get those clearances going because the Highlanders are definitely a side that can punish that.
Connor McMillan back to Alejandro Varela there. Joel Waterman. Interesting he didn't start tonight, probably just a rest issue for Colin Elms. He wants to freshen things up as Iski Van Doren, great sidestep, trying to find Ofosu, and Ofosu, I should say, and he takes down Janko Vong. It was in a good spot, but frustratingly kicks the ball away for the Highlanders. Waterman plays it quick to Marcelo Polisi, out wide to Ryan Dillon. Dillon working on Stuart Heath, nice cut in there. Dillon, he's got McMillan with him to Papadinets. Papadinets tries a shot right to Connor McMillan. I think that's what he was looking for initially.
Yeah, playing the ball out wide to C-Mac was the thing there, but Papadinets went for the shot.
Varela tried to find Hildebrand, who fell down.
He's slipped a few times tonight. I don't know if it's footwear or how much they've watered the pitch beforehand, but he's definitely been on his ass a few times during this game.
There was quite a bit of pitch watering going on as they had an academy game with the females before the game tonight. Zofosu brings it down the field. Did well to step inside as well. On Friday they had the game, and then yesterday there was a celebrity football game here at Swangard. Good pickup game between Jay DeMerit, some other local Vancouver celebrities.
My invite must have got lost. I didn't get that. Don't think I could have played in that temperature.
This one down the wing to Connor McMillan.
Dillon in a lot of room out here on the right wing if they can switch it quickly to him or play him in over the top here.
He was on Friday as well, but again, the service wasn't there for the Rovers. They like to pick that up here in the second half. Andre Bears to Ryan Dillon. Polisi, nice give and go there with Connor Hildebrand, who takes away the ball from Stuart Heath, and then Polisi and Waterman will play catch. Then to Ryan Dillon, nice touch off the outside of his right foot. Step over back to Joe Waterman. Waterman has space to deliver. A nice header away from McCurdy, who fell down there. Wait, wide to Alejandro Varela, then to Papadinets. Nice step over. Back to Varela. Bukas. Switch for Janko Vong. Again, the substitutes for the Rovers tonight. Davidson, Polisi, Eli Heitnen, and Taktasaka. That's Matteo Polisi, the new blonde-haired Rovers attacking midfielder. As Tim Hickson came off at halftime for Joe Waterman. Looks like Matteo Polisi about to come in for the Rovers. Colin not wasting any time after not seeing what he liked in that first half. Blair Sturrock.
And we read the tweet from Wes Barrett about Blair Sturrock, and we've just actually been told he's a Juan de Fuca plate winner, Wes Barrett. Highlanders legend, we were told, by the Highlanders. So we'll go with that. And Blair Sturrock has won a Juan de Fuca plate before.
Rough tackle there. Looks like it'll be maybe a card as Constant came in two-footed. Go ahead, Michael.
Still no cards. Yeah, Blair Sturrock, been with the Highlanders since 2013. This is his third Juan de Fuca plate campaign, but he's a mainstay of this team, and he likes living locally, does a lot of coaching locally. Played a lot of his football with Plymouth Argyle. Son of Scottish legend Paul Sturrock.
Nice move there from Mitchell Papadinets to Connor Hildebrand. Got some space. Hildebrand has a shot over the net.
Rare chance for Hildebrand to get a shot tonight. Hasn't had a lot of sniffs at goal. In fact, not many of the Rovers team have.
Hildebrand, you remember last game, hit the post in the last few minutes of the game, and then Highlanders came the way, other way, I should say, a couple minutes later to score the win in the 85th minute. But good chance last game for Connor Hildebrand off the bench. Solomon Constant. Ofosu wide open on their far right. Constant turns back nicely to show Godo. Godo, great ball in, and Hicks had to retract, but it's out of play, and it'll be a goal kick for the Rovers. 54 minutes gone from Swangard, scoreless here.
And Thomas Brown at Downtown T Brown _ on Twitter points out to us that it was a small quad issue for Waterman. That's one of the reasons he started on the bench tonight, plus the squad rotation that Colin, as we mentioned in the first half, he just wants to get as many of his players seeing some action in these closing games of this season as possible. It is all about development. It is the Premier Development League. And Colin's main aim with putting the squad together is just to get them more time, get them in a professional working environment. Hopefully a few of them catch the eye and put himself in the shop window. One guy hoping to do that is Ryan Dillon, who's just on the ball just now, kind of.
Commentator's curses went off his head right to another Victoria player, but there's James McMillan, gets the ball from Waterman. McMillan taking on his man, nice pass to Papadinitz, who was a bit out of his way there. Papadinitz left-footed delivery in there, headed away by Heath right to Owen Pierce. Highlanders, lots of space here. Pierce tries to play in Ofosu. 1-on-2, but he's got the skill to beat both of them. Ofosu, way too far for Solomon Constant, as Patrick Nelson warming up here for the Highlanders.
Few heavy touches tonight, especially in the second half from both teams. You kind of wonder if fatigue's starting to play a little bit now, and it looks like there's a substitution for TSS as well.
Speaking of the low shin guards we talked about last game so many times, it'll be Polisi about to come in, and as well as Patrick Nelson, who puts his bib back on for the Highlanders.
Wondering if Matteo may come on for his brother here.
Might have to think. That's the case as Hickson, the guy who doesn't have match fitness, was taken off. Stuart Heath pulls it back. Out wide to Jonah Smith.
Daniel Davidson is set to come on as well for TSS.
Maybe a Hildebrand and Dillon and McMillan coming off, or even Marcelo Polisi for the Rovers.
Do wonder whether Hildebrand may come off. I did see him out after his chat with Colin at half-time talking to some of the subs, so it may have been to pass the message on that they were going to be coming on 10 minutes in.
Godo, there's Pierce. Waterman, nice ball to Marcelo Polisi, then again to Joe Waterman. It's clear right now that the Rovers have missed the likes of Verhoeven, Panu, and Figueroa, especially with Verhoeven with his electrifying pace, but he'll be back later on. Connor Hildebrand couldn't get it away from Patrick Bartolillo. Should say Francisco Bartolillo. And Bears will have to recover and play the ball out of his own half here. 57 minutes gone from Swangard. Still scoreless. It's very slowing down here. After the first 10 minutes of the game, it was electrifying back and forth, and Patrick Nelson is about to come in for the Highlanders. Did come on early on in that game on Friday. The 1-0 win for the Highlanders. A heartbreaker here at Swangard. It looked like another scoreless draw. This one looks like it as of right now, but both teams getting a little more space and room to roam in the second half. Marcelo Polisi laid off to Papadinitz, back to Polisi, then far side to Alejandro Varela.
Again, Dillon in a lot of room here at the back if they can find him.
Connor McMillan working on Jonah Smith. Nice step inside. And again, nice move from Connor McMillan. McMillan plays it back to Joe Waterman, and he puts it right at the goalkeeper. Norgovitz battled down, and Connor Hildebrand lets it go out of his reach. And what a play there. Great pass from Connor McMillan after he got past his man. Squared it to Joe Waterman. I'm sure he's going to be counting goals in his sleep after putting that one right at Norgov's breadbasket as the subs will come in here.
Not a great shot from Waterman there. Disappointing end to what was a fantastic move, and a great cut back there from McMillan.
So it's Hildebrand and Papadinitz off the Rovers. It's Polisi and Davidson coming in.
So we're going to see Matteo Polisi going into the number 10 role here. Daniel Davidson going up front. Davidson, as we mentioned, the team's leading scorer. 3 goals in the year, arguably 4. Initially, when he was down as the ineligible player, the TSS were told that all the stats for the game would count, so his goal would count, but they've obviously retracted on that now.
So Pierce as well comes off. Oh, that's Owen Pierce comes off the Highlanders, and in comes Patrick Nelson. Looks like 4 up front right now for the Highlanders. It'll probably change.
going for that rare 2-4-4 formation.
It's really when you're desperate for goals. As Bucas heads it down to Marcelo, or that's Alejandro Varela, I should say. Ball
Poor
was
pass from Varela.
way
there.
short of Dillon, but did a good
But
job
gets
to save his teammates, and Stuart Heath wins it back from Ryan Dillon. So Polisi and Davidson come in. Paparanitz and Hildebrand out, who I thought had a good first half there for the Rovers, and obviously Colin Elms, the head coach, saw otherwise for the Rovers.
Time management definitely is key for both sides into this second half. TSS in particular, you don't want to have a lot of your guys playing too much in these conditions, especially if they're flagging a bit. And the guys that's done most of their running, which Papadanitz had a fantastic first half, covered a lot of ground, so it makes sense to take him off. Matteo Polisi also has a motor on him as well. Was initially in the Whitecaps residency program, went and had some trials in Europe, and then came back over to North America, ended up in the Timbers under-18 side, and he joins TSS Rovers from that Timbers team.
Great ball from Waterman to Dillon. Dillon shifting out Heath, and again, nice play from Dillon, shifts it in. Davidson with a header, it's in! What a fantastic goal from the Rovers as Ryan Dillon got the ball on the right wing, cut it back into his left foot. Davidson will celebrate with the Swangard, and it's 1-0 for the Rovers in minute number 60 here from Swangard team, and a hot night here in Burnaby.
An immediate impact from Daniel Davidson. We talked about the danger that he brings to this TSS Rovers side. 4th goal in the season. Lovely header, bottom corner. Not a lot Norcroft could do with that. Smoke coming from the Swangardians. Fantastic. And TSS have pulled themselves back into the Juan de Fuca plate.
What a fantastic header from Daniel Davidson. Comes on not 2 minutes later, maybe even a minute later, and he makes an immediate impact. His 4th of the season, 5th considering the circumstances. Either way, we'll say it's his 4th, and the Rovers now have a 1-0 lead and a huge advantage here right now as they try to hold this game and even get one more, and they can put themselves in a good position to win the aforementioned Juan de Fuca play. As the smoke invades the pitch here.
If you're watching the stream at home, don't worry. Central Park, it is not a forest fire. It's just the smoke from the Swangardians.
Nelson on the turn, left-footed shot. Good save from Andrew Hicks right away.
Fantastic stop by Hicks, getting down quickly to his right to turn that away for a corner, but well struck as well. And Highlanders opening up at the game a little bit now. I think we could have a bit of end-to-end. Half an hour to go. Interesting to see how the players cope with an end-to-end match in this heat.
End-to-end would certainly be good for the Rovers right now with who they just brought on, the pace they have, as Davidson opens the scoring here in the 60th minute for the Rovers. Fantastic ball in from Ryan Dillon, who has been a nuisance all night long. Not sure.
I think they're just making a change to the PA announcement, because it was initially not announced that Davidson had got the goal there, so Willie's just sent him a message to correct that. So Daniel Davidson clearly has some family and friends in the crowd tonight.
Whipped in by Bartolillo. Ofosu going off for the header. It's right there to Ryan Dillon. Blair Sturck will have to turn back for the Highlanders. Nice ball wide for Francisco Bartolillo. Bartolillo, high ball in right to Hicks. It's down, and it's a great save from Andrew Hicks. Oh, my goodness.
Saved in the smoke there from Hicksy.
As it'll be a kick away here for a free kick for the Rovers. There's a man down and writhing in pain here.
And a little bit of pushing and shoving as well. Things getting a little bit testy out there. Can't see who it is that is down, but the TSS Rovers players weren't happy with that tackle.
Hicks just robbed his man. I believe it was Ofosu, as he got a clear header, clear as day in there. And
Andre Baer's the player down, and the referee is going over to speak to the linesman.
And yellow card for Ofosu. The first card of the game, as we could have had a couple card-worthy challenges early on.
Ofosu claiming it's not him. I think it may be a case of mistaken identity here, but the ref had spoken to the linesman to see what had happened there, and possibly linesman may not see in the smoke and identified the wrong player.
Yeah. So that was, if you couldn't see that in the stream, a fantastic save from Andrew Hicks, who's made 2 back-to-back here to save his team from despair after getting the opening goal from Mr. Daniel Davidson.
And Andrew Hicks has just been so important to this TSS Rovers team this year. He's a guy, he's just finished his senior year at Trinity Western University, looking for a pro deal if he can get it, and he's done himself a lot of good this season. With the Canadian Premier League coming up, you would hope that a team's going to take a look at him. Just a bit of a shame that the league isn't starting this season to give him something to go into, but he does play his club football for Langley United, who made it to the semi-finals of the BC Provincial Cup this year, so he's always got that.
Waterman did well trying to find Connor McMillan. McMillan in space, he's got man with him. McMillan tries a shot, and Norgrove.
Having trouble holding on to the ball tonight. Parried quite a few shots, but on each occasion there's not been a TSS Rovers player following in. And that's something that Colin and Willie need to get their players told. It's like, start to follow in a little bit more. Just shoot Willie a message to say that just now.
Looks like the ball probably looks like a baseball right now for Norgrove. The Highlanders keeper is Polisi did well, and Bears will settle it down. Looks fine after being writhing in pain for a couple minutes there, but as every soccer player does, he gets up right away. Sturrock being followed by Polisi. He'll play in Simon Norgrove. The Polisi brothers now back on the pitch together, as they will be this season at SFU Clan. Ryan McCurdy to Blair Sturrock. Sturrock, the 23-year-old. Wrong with the header away, and that'll be off the foot of Iski Van Doren. Nelson wanted in midfield to Andrew Ofosu. Shogoda all wide. And Connor McMillan wins it back for the Rovers to Alejandro Varela. Polisi flicks it on for Matteo Polisi. Trying to break away from Iski Van Doren. And be a throw in here for the Rovers. 65 minutes gone, a 1-0 goal by Mr. Daniel Davidson, who came on as a sub and made an immediate impact. As Aiden Moore, the Surrey native, 18-year-old, warms up here for the Highlanders.
And we've had a question on Twitter asking why there's no replays from today's match. Unfortunately, we just weren't able to get that set up. Only got a 2-camera system going today. So no replays, but you can, if you're watching on YouTube, you can easily put it back and just watch the replays.
So the Rovers will have a throw in here on the left side. Alejandro Varela, the man who has played a few matches with the Rovers, came back from Germany just in time for their matchup against Portland a couple weeks ago.
And if you are watching this stream live on YouTube, send us a message at AFT in Canada. We'll read your questions out. Anything you want to discuss about this game, these teams, or the PDL. If you're not watching it live, probably don't message us. There's not really a lot we can do about that. But here's Ryan Dillon. Lovely turn to set up a move for TSS. Coming in on goal now.
Dillon with McMillan to his left. Works past his man. He'll find Marcelo Polisi to Matteo Polisi, then to Ryan Dillon. And Blair Sturrock did well to step in.
TSS Rovers play a nice passing game, which isn't something that Dillon's totally used to at SFU. It's a bit more direct at times in the NCAA Division 2.
Bears did well off of Heath, and a throw in for the Rovers here. I should say the Highlanders. It looked like going off of Sturrock initially. Here's Blair Sturrock. To Iski Van Doren. Nice step in there from Joe Waterman. And Matteo Polisi wins back possession for the Rovers. They're coming down the left wing. They've got 5 on their side. Davidson has a shot himself, and not a bad idea as he had men waiting. Good shot from Davidson, just wide of the net.
In full confidence now, scored a brace against Portland Timbers 9 days ago in the draw there. And he's hungry for goal. He's wanting to add to his tally. He's a guy that Colin Elms speaks very highly of, as do a number of the players on the squad, who when Colin was putting the team together, really vouched for him and said he was a great guy.
Nelson touch, thought about having the shot. He'll find Constant. Nice step up from Janko Vong, though. They'll try and start another break for the Rovers. Nice step up from Janko Vong. Needs to get rid of it. Got lots of white jerseys pressuring him, and Matteo Polisi gets the first touch to Ryan Dillon. He's got space against Ryan McCurdy. Nice turn from Ryan Dillon. Another step over to Dillon, nicely done. Away from McCurdy, ball in low, and a nice head away from Blair Sturrock there for the Highlanders for another Rovers corner. The corner number 5 of the night. 5 as well for the Highlanders, the visitors.
Game has certainly opened up here as we thought it would with that goal. Both teams switching play back and forward really fast, and a few players bent over trying to get some air in their lungs, I think, just now.
A few players bent over. Played short there to Ryan Dillon.
Nicely worked corner there.
Dillon, past 1, past 2. Matteo Polisi didn't see the man coming in. Gets past him nicely, went down. Penalty for the Rovers.
Possibly a soft one. The Highlanders fans up in arms about that, but there was definitely contact. He did go down like a sack of tatties, but it all counts.
Matteo Polisi looking for his first of the season. He did score a penalty against the Whitecaps residency in the friendly 2 weeks ago, but either way, Matteo Polisi that is, will step up I think he dyed his hair to make sure he and his brother don't get messed up. So Matteo Polisi for the Rovers to make it 2-0 in the 69th minute against Simon Norgrove, the Highlanders goalkeeper here. This will put a huge stamp in the game. The Rovers will put themselves in good position here, up 2-0, and trying to get their first ever third goal in a match. Matteo Polisi against Simon Norgrove. Polisi steps up, has a shot, and he scores, and the Rovers lead 2-0 against the Victoria Highlanders in the 69th minute here from Swangard Stadium. And calm, cool, collected for Matteo Polisi, who goes right to the Swangardians, and why not? 2-0, and right now Willie and Colin have put on two players who have both scored goals, and it's a huge dividends here for the Rovers as they lead 2-0 in the 69th minute.
Sending Norgrove the wrong way there, and TSS Rovers in complete command of this game. Colin Elms was kind of furious after the game on Friday that they had created so many chances and couldn't take them. Tonight they have created chances, but they've been more clinical in the second half. 2-goal lead. If this stays as it stands just now, both teams will be on 3 points in the Juan de Fuca Plate standings, but TSS Rovers would have the 1-goal advantage and would head into the final game in Victoria on July 9th, just needing a draw to lift their first ever plate.
Let's not jinx that here.
Well, we want some more.
Sure, Willie and Colin will try and get them one more as they're looking for their third goal. As that one right there to show Goto, and again the man who got a goal last game just out of his reach there. Japanese-born defender turned forward for the Highlanders. Got 2 on the season now.
Played on the J-League, came through the youth system there, also saw some time in the actual J-League himself, and Dave Dew was so complimentary about him after the game on Friday. He's still learning English. He's taking English classes at the University of Victoria, and that's part of the reason that they're bringing in the new guy. Japanese is his native language, so they can communicate a little bit better on the pitch.
Polisi off the header from Davidson, back-to-back flick on to the Rovers. Davidson, nice ball to McMillan, and again he's got full confidence. Dylan stopped running.
The Swangardian section lit up with some lovely pyro going on here.
Not as big as Friday, but still looking good over there.
I think the Swangardians' budget could be bigger than the Whitecaps' playing budget for the season. They do not come cheap. But there were some fantastic photos from the game. Check them out from Friday's game, from the pyro display and some stuff in the goal. Check it out on aftn.ca. Our brilliant photographer Tommy Waziak got those photos.
Matteo Polisi from Varela. Polisi on the turn, past one, and McCurdy cleared it away.
And you can give Tom a follow on Twitter, @residualimage. He takes photos of all the TSS Rovers games, WFC2
Waterman,
and Caps.
space, tried to find Davidson. And Waterman went down right away there, and we mentioned he had an injury coming in, and that's not good.
He had a quad strain coming into this one. He's down holding what looks to be his right leg, possibly his right quad. And the ball was played out by the Highlanders here to allow him to get some attention. So while the ball's out of play, we'll just give a little shout out to the sponsors. TSS Rovers shirt sponsor Parallel 49 Brewing Company. You can follow them on Twitter and also check out their website, parallel49brewing.com. TSS Rovers for all your news of TSS and get tickets and just details of everything to do with TSS and the academy. Check out tssrovers.com. For all your PDL news, reviews, stats, standings and a lot more, uslpdl.com is the place for that. And a substitution coming up here for the Rovers.
Tak Tasaka coming in for the Rovers. Eli Heitinen is the other available outfield option. The last one actually for the Rovers is Van Dorn comes out for Justin Donaldson for the Highlanders, but Tak Tasaka coming in for Joe Waterman, it looks like.
Although possibly not. I think he might be about to sit back down because Waterman looks okay. I think it was just a worry that Waterman wasn't going to continue, but Tasaka sitting back down at the moment.
Poor Tak Tasaka looked like he was going to come in for Andre Bears, and he was injured, and then Waterman went down, so that's twice he's had to come up and then sit down for the Rovers, so hopefully he'll get to play here in the last 18 minutes of the game. 2-0 Rovers over the Victoria Highlanders. Battle for the Juan de Fuca Plate, 2 of 3 in the season. Next one coming Sunday, July 9th at Centennial Stadium in Victoria. The new player for the Highlanders is Justin Donaldson. Played the University of Victoria Vikes in 2012 and 14. Now plays with Thompson Rivers University. Joe Waterman.
As we mentioned, Thompson Rivers hosting the Nationals this year.
Played through for McMillan, again too much on it for the Rovers.
And it's a big chance for all the Thompson River guys including Mitchell Papadinets for TSS Rovers, to kind of be in a national stage at those nationals at U Sport.
Long went in, didn't win the ball, and a nice turn from Solomon Constant. Stuart Heath to Sho Goto, who's dropped back into a defensive midfield role here. Looks like he can play anywhere.
Constant looked lively when he came on Friday night, so the Highlanders will be hoping he can do the same again here just now.
Polisi flick on, didn't find McMillan.
And the Highlanders have struggled to play with a lead this year, so they've got 2 goals now. They've never scored more than 2 goals in a game so far, so they should hold on to this one, but you never know.
Ofosu tries a shot himself.
Well, if the Highlanders keep shooting like that, I don't think they're going to have any trouble holding on to their lead. That was a bit of a waste from Ofosu there. There were some guys in the middle. A ball into the box would have been the much better option there. But Hicks pleased to see that just sail over the bar.
Looks like Aiden Moore, the Surrey native, 18-year-old, about to come in for the Highlanders. Andrew Hicks will play it away for the Rovers. 60 minutes away here from victory. And Andre Barris to Vijeli Bukas and Polisi to Joe Waterman. Nice little bit of movement here from the Rovers. And Ryan Dillon again will get some space working on Stuart Heath, who's had nightmares against Ryan Dillon tonight. Dillon steps infield to Joe Waterman, who has McMillan wide left. If he can find him, Waterman wants it himself. It'll fall again to McMillan, who's been lively tonight as well, trying to work his way back from match fitness. And crunching tackle from Justin Darlton. Free kick for the Rovers. That one looked like a hurt for Connor McMillan. McMillan down, free kick in a good position from Mateo Polisi, who got the Rovers' second goal. Davidson with the first.
I hope you're enjoying the stream wherever you're watching this. Vancouver, the Lower Mainland, over on the island in Victoria, or anywhere else. Brought to you by sportscanada.tv. Some great work from them this year filming the TSS Rovers games. And presented by aftn.ca. Your #1 site in British Columbia, if not Canada, if I do say so myself, for all your Whitecaps and local and national news.
Speaking of Twitter, you can follow myself at GideonHill18 and AFTN Canada. That's at AFTN Canada on Twitter. Connor McMillan will play in the free kick for the Rovers. He has Mateo Polisi, Alejandro Varela, Daniel Davidson, and Ryan Dillon forward as they'll keep 4 back for the Rovers. Not a bad idea, clinching onto this 2-0 lead so far. McMillan on the delivery, plays it short to Waterman. Waterman plays it in again, and Rovers don't do anything with that free kick. Polisi plays it nicely back there. Mateo Polisi on the turn. Polisi has a shot over the goal and fancied himself there. Nice catch by the fan behind the Highlanders goal. Feeds it right back. 14 minutes to go. 2-0 Rovers.
Lovely hustle there from Mateo Polisi to keep that move alive, and it's something he brings to this team. Really looking forward to seeing what he does with SFU Clan this coming season.
Jankovong wins a header down out of play. So it'll be Aiden Moore coming in for the Highlanders here. Surrey native, I should say 19-year-old. Not sure who's coming out here. It is Andrew Ofosu, who looked not as good as he did on Friday. He won a couple foot races against Andre Bears and Vijeli Bukas, but didn't cause them headaches. And Eli Jindo looks like he might come in again for the Highlanders.
Your favorite player, Gideon.
Thank goodness he's not coming on as he picks up the jersey there. Would have been a mouthful for me to say that. And Jonas Smith down the right wing. Off of Alejandro Varela for a deep throw in here for the Highlanders. Rovers trying to get that lucky 3rd goal. They have not had one yet in their 9-game history. Jonas Smith will get the throw in here for the Highlanders. Good crowd on hand tonight and a humid day. Really all over BC. Patrick Nelson on the turn. Has a high volley. Jankovong trying to head it away. And Justin Donaldson will get on his horse there to keep it in. Or I should say to get a throw in for the Highlanders. Leave it there for Stuart Heath. 1 back right now for the Highlanders. And Owen Norgrove halfway past his goalkeeper box is Sho Goto. On the turn. Right footed ball. Connor McMillan, I should say, wins a header. And both Polisi and his brother Marcel lost it right to Sho Goto. Goto tries a shot way over the net. And after scoring on Friday, felt himself and didn't get into the back of the net there for the Highlanders. Just find themselves down 2 goals with 12 minutes to go from Swangard.
And TSS will be happy if the Highlanders are just firing like that for the rest of the game. They're being kept to long-range shots. They're not doing much with it. TSS look in control and comfortable, but we have seen that before this season. This is a very, very big game for the Rovers, just to show that they can actually hold on to a lead and come away with 3 vital points for only their second win of the season, it would be.
Bukas trying to find Connor McMillan. He is on side. That's a lovely ball from Vijay Bukas.
Great pace from McMillan to keep this in.
And a good tackle from Jonas Smith. McMillan was looking for a ball boy to give him the ball, nobody near him, and he'll have to get it himself.
They'll be happy just to run out a little bit of time here. This is when you want to withdraw the ball boys and just tell them, it's okay, you've done your job, it's hot, get inside, lads.
Mateo Polisi against Connor McMillan. Nicely done to McMillan, and Polisi deemed a foul there.
Didn't see much in that, but obviously the referee did. Highlanders keen to get on with this quite quickly now. Time running out for them to get back into this game.
Norgrove will get the ball.
You have to feel as well, Victoria basically have to win out to have any hopes of the postseason. Not really got much hope of catching Calgary Foothills at the top, but there is a chance that the second place team will be in the postseason depending on records. But any defeat for Victoria Highlanders is probably going to kill that chance as stone dead. It's pretty faint as it is just now, but I think this would be the death blow for those.
We now play 5 away on the road after tonight. Again, on Wednesday, the Rovers don't play until next week. Waterman fell down there. Polisi gave it right to the foot of Patrick Nelson. I should say that was Aiden Moore, the Surrey native, 19-year-old, in front of friends and family tonight. 80 minutes gone from Swangard, 2-0 Rovers. Goals from Daniel Davidson, Mateo Polisi. The game is certainly picked up after the 50th minute when the 55th minute when the subs came in. And Colin Elms got his substitutions right with both goal scorers coming in and scoring goals.
You kind of wonder now whether Colin is going to make any more substitutions or just try and keep this team on the pitch to keep it steady. It's a very experienced team out there. It's close to what would be considered his starting lineup, missing some of the UBC guys.
Ryan McCurdy keeps possession, gave it right to Joe Waterman. And Daniel Davidson sees himself here, I should say, working on Stuart Heath as the smoke comes in. Nice tackle from Stuart Heath as Davidson and Mateo Polisi were breaking.
Rovers getting a lot of success up this left side. They seem to see it as a weakness on the Highlanders team, and they're going for a lot of long balls up to McMillan and to Davidson, and they're doing well. They just need a better delivery into the box. It's been an issue for TSS all season. A lot of good build-up play, but that final delivery just has not been good enough and not been clinical enough in front of goal either when they've had chances to shoot.
Throw in here for the Rovers. Joel Waterman. And there's Sho Godo. Godo to Patrick Bartolillo. Bartolillo is Bears slipped again. Nelson. Blair Sturrock won't get there ahead. And Rovers can break here. They've got 3-on-2. Polisi walked right into the challenge of Sho Godo, who's dropped into a defensive midfielder role here. Patrick Nelson comes forward. Sturrock. Bartolillo. Bartolillo, right-footed ball and headed down by Constant just wide, and Hicks couldn't save it there. It'll get a goal kick anyways.
Hicks scrambling just to make sure it wasn't going to curl in, but I think if it had gone towards goal, he pretty much had that one covered. So I hope you're enjoying the stream, and it's a busy night for AFTN, helping to produce this and present this stream. And in a couple of hours' time, the AFTN Soccer Show is live on CITR Radio. If you're in the Lower Mainland, that's 101.9 FM, or you can listen online, citr.ca online. Get in touch with us if you want to talk about any Whitecap stuff. We'll cover this game in the post-game as well in the show. So check us out, the AFTN Soccer Show, 11 o'clock, CITR Radio.
Good crowd watching on YouTube as well for this game tonight. Rovers find themselves sitting pretty against the Highlanders. Marcelo Polisi. McMillan to Daniel Davidson. And keeps that one in nicely there for a corner for the Rovers. Speaking of soccer today, the Confederations Cup round of 8, I should say, wrapped up. Germany beating Cameroon 3-1. Good game there. As Declan Wynn did not appear for the New Zealand All Blacks yesterday, unfortunately. That would have been nice against
Disappointed that he
Ronaldo.
didn't make an appearance, but played twice in the tournament, heading back now to play with WFC2.
McMillan away by Heath.
Whitecaps as well in action yesterday with a very strange outing out in Minnesota. 2-goal lead at half-time, gave that up in the second half, and then neither team really seemed to have any impetus to go on and win it. Although they did both have a couple of chances towards the end. But point on the road for the Whitecaps. Next week they're up against Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Oh, that'll be a tough game for the Whitecaps away in Chicago as well.
9 games unbeaten now for Chicago Fire.
Incredible team. Incredible turnaround as well from being dead last year in the Eastern Conference. Added some very key pieces. Schweinsteiger as well this offseason and during the season.
We're reaching out to Chicago Fire to try and speak to Schweinsteiger for our midweek podcast. We know we've not got a hope in hell, but if you don't ask, you don't get.
Why is not? Well,
we're hoping then they won't give us him, so they'll give us someone else. That's our cunning master plan.
Did get to speak with TSN's Christian Jack earlier in the season, but we'll see if. Hope you find luck in that, Michael.
Well, if you tune into the show tonight, we have a good chat with Andrew Jacobson, just talking about making the transition to centre-back for the Whitecaps at this time of need, and just how he feels MLS has changed in his 9 years in the league. And it certainly has changed, and a big aspect of the young talent coming in comes from the PDL. Over 70% of draft picks had PDL experience in the draft this year. So it's a great bleeding ground for these young guys to show what they've got.
Simon Norgove plays it to the Rovers' 18-yard box. McMillan trying to find Joe Waterman, and he's probably a little sore from that tackle earlier, but he'll find Daniel Davidson and Dylan sprinting.
3-on-2 here if they can find Dylan coming in at the back yet again.
Davidson using his pace there, plays it low right to Polisi, who scores. Finally, they get their third goal, and Matteo Polisi from Daniel Davidson. Rovers up 3-0 here in the 86th minute. What a counterattack from the TSS Rovers wearing the black and white. Daniel Davidson, presence of mind to thump it low across goal, not high, and Matteo Polisi was there to get his second of the game. Rovers up 3-0.
Fantastic break, 3-on-3 in the end. Dylan got on really quick there, and if Polisi hadn't put that away, Dylan was ready to tuck that in as well, but a great outstretched leg from Matteo Polisi. Second goal of the night, 3 goals now to TSS. The Juan de Fuca plate could be coming home.
Never know now. A game Sunday, July 9th at Centennial Stadium in Victoria. That's the Rovers need to draw on that one to clinch the Juan de Fuca plate. 2 is nice, 3 is even better for Willie and Colin, who find themselves their first ever game with 3 goals for the Rovers, and this is one game where they like the shutout for sure.
Definitely a game to head over to now in the island on July 9th. If you fancy a little road trip, that's a fantastic game. Nice little setup that the Highlanders have. They play at UVic Vikes Stadium. A little bit in the middle of nowhere and hard to get to if you don't have a car, but it's a good stadium. Whitecaps have played there a couple of times.
Nicely done by Andre Bears, and Polisi couldn't get it back from Janko Vong. Bartolillo nicely won back by Marcelo Polisi, but won the ball there, or thought he won the ball. Referee deems otherwise. Looks like the changes that Dave Dew from the Highlanders made haven't proved fruitful right now, as Donaldson won the free kick there, but either way, they like to probably freshen things up on the road. It's not easy to go way over down the northwest I-5 to Portland and Seattle, among other places. So I'm sure Dave Dew will freshen up his squad. Donaldson, go ahead, Michael.
To try and get back into the game here. It's a lot of space here to Hicks's right-hand side if they can find the top left corner of the net.
Bartolillo and Donaldson gave way to Patrick Nelson. This could be the first ever clean sheet in the Rovers history. Nelson tries a shot tipped in. Sho Goto, guess who? And it's a big goal for the Highlanders as Bears and Goto battle for it.
And a jinx there, Gideon saying about the clean sheet, and it's poked away for the Highlanders to make it 3-1. Nice little finish, good free kick, and yeah, it's not probably game back on, but when it comes down to goal difference in the Juan de Fuca plate, you never know. That could be a crucial goal.
Commentators curse once again there for the Rovers as their first ever shutout. He's given up. It's either way. It's Sho Goto with his second in as many games, third of the season. The defender, Japanese-born defender turned forward, gets his second in 2 days or 3 days for the Highlanders. Nice tipping as well as a great ball low from Patrick Nelson. Not to just fire it on net, but he played it low. Goto on side, and Tapped it in nicely for the Highlanders, making it a 2-goal game. Matteo Polisi, he wants to get his third. Polisi to Joe Waterman. Ryan Dillon. McMillan wide open the far left side. Dillon working on Solomon Constant. Nice move from Ryan Dillon. Lovely, and the ball was off of Constant's leg, I thought it was.
I thought that was deflected for a corner. Possibly came back and hit Dillon. Lakeside boys now in full voice down the front here at Swangard, trying to cheer their guys on. They know the importance of goals. Matteo Polisi's goal could be the big one here, that second that he got.
Lakeside boys, 3 traveling men tonight. Had more on Friday, but again, late ferry situation is why they weren't here. Jonah Smith plays it to the Rovers half. Blair Sturrock, nice flick on header to Justin Donaldson. Janko Vong getting his horse, and a nice play there as he was shoved down. It'll be a talking to from the referee and a free kick, as well as Donaldson shoved down Janko Vong. 4 fouls for the Rovers, 14 for the Victoria Highlanders.
We're not saying they're dirty, but they do have 14 fouls.
16 shots for the Rovers and 10 for the Highlanders, who certainly have been outplayed since the goal from Godo a couple minutes ago.
And just before the Highlanders goal there, we were talking about the importance of PDL to showing what these guys have got at the higher level. And a couple of Highlanders or ex-Highlander players have actually made it and been drafted into the MLS. Matt Polster from Chicago, who we're just talking about, he played for the Highlanders in 2013, as did the Whitecaps' Brett Levis, who he kind of came on the radar for the Whitecaps when he had a fantastic season for the Highlanders back in 2013. Made the switch to play for Whitecaps under 23s the following season, now in the Caps MLS contract.
Fortunately not for him to play this season. He for sure could be in contention for a starting spot if he was healthy, but
well, he should be back in a couple of weeks. They're targeting the end of June. He's still doing some rehab work at training, but I think everyone in Vancouver and Victoria and, of course, Saskatchewan would just love to see Brett Levis back on the pitch. Fantastic guy, fantastic player.
McMillan to Davidson, and he's offside. It looked like he was on either way.
It looked on to me there, I have to say. Into stoppage time now. Of course, we don't have this board to tell us how many minutes, but I would guess probably at least 3.
Ryan Dillon gets the ball right from Norgrove. Dillon on a break for the Rovers. He's got so much pace. Look at this.
Oh, terrible tackle there.
Jonah Smith grabbed him down, and it's a yellow card for Smith, and rightfully so. Dillon was taken out there like a like a football player.
It was a 4-on-4 break, and I think he knew that if they had got the pass off, that the Highlanders were in trouble. In some ways, a good foul to take for Victoria as it broke that up, but disappointing to see that. It is a shocker. Highlanders clearly wanting to hang on to this just 2-goal deficit, but TSS looking to try and get another. First time all year they've scored more than 2 goals. Can they make it 4?
Connor McMillan standing over at 3-man wall for the Highlanders. It'll be a 2-man wall now as Polisi gets the ball, working in on his man Aiden Moore. Polisi step over. Again, Polisi with some nice footwork there. He's done a good job since coming in the 55th minute for the Rovers. And Waterman fouls his man, and Waterman shoved down by Patrick Nelson there. Things getting a little feisty. It'll be a fun last game between these two on Saturday or Sunday, July 9th.
It's going to be a battle and a half. Going to head over for that one. Had planned to, then decided not to. Going to head over now. So expensive just going over to the island. I have to feel sorry for the Highlanders with all those trips that they have, and you wonder as well, do the Highlanders maybe have aspirations of having a team in the Canadian Premier League? And then you look at how much travel and the cost that would be for the team. But it's definitely a great market. A lot of very passionate football fans over in the island, and it would be great to see them with a professional team. But this team does the city credit. They've been a great team for Victoria since they came into being all those years ago. Disbanded briefly and then came back to play in the PCSL, but then back now where they started last season in the PDL.
Closing in on 93 minutes of stoppage time here. 3-1 Rovers, 2 from Polisi, 1 from Davidson, and Shogoto, guess who has the goal for the Highlanders as Norgrove will play it in. The Rovers can get a break here. It'd be a wide open goal.
Another goal for Highlanders would really open up the Wandafuka plate standings, but not with a kick like that from Norgrove. That was shocking.
Andrew Hicks doesn't think about the open goal himself, and he'll just play it away for these Rovers. Certainly taken to the Highlanders after 10 minutes of controlling and then sitting back a bit, and now they're sitting pretty up 3-1 here against the Highlanders.
And Thick UBC on Twitter says, Rovers, Highlanders, me on commentary, has BC become a province of Scotland? It would be nice if it had. Although there was some talk of Scotland becoming a province of Canada earlier on this year with all the Brexit stuff that was going on.
Blair Sturrock, here's Shogoto.
Blair Sturrock, of course, is Scottish himself.
Constant. Jonah Smith, ball was terrible from Constant, and that'll be it here from Swangard. The Rovers get their first ever 3 goals in their history, and again, that's their first game with more than 2 goals, I should say, as they beat the Highlanders 3-1. They put themselves in good position to win the one if you could play it. That'll be Sunday, July 9th. That's their last home game is Wednesday, July 12th against the Seattle Sounders U23 at 7 p.m. here from Swangard. A good game as Willie Cromack and Dave Duell shake hands. You have the final stats of the game here between these two rivals, you could say, after the feistiness at the end of the game.
3 saves for Andrew Hicks in the TSS goal, 4 for Simon Norgrove in the Highlanders goal, 6 corners for TSS, 5 to the Highlanders, 1 offside for TSS, no offside for Victoria, fouls 7 for TSS, 16 for Victoria, shots 16 for TSS, 10 for the Highlanders, and the most important stat, goals 3 for TSS Rovers, 1 for Victoria Highlanders, giving TSS Rovers a 1-goal advantage in the Juan de Fuca Plate standings, all to play for on July 9th. TSS just need a draw over in Centennial Stadium to claim the plate, and that would be a fantastic way to wrap the season up, especially if they can get a first road win as well. And it's something for the TSS players to look forward to, and I know that Colin and Willie will have them fired up for that. But fantastic performance tonight, 2 great goals from Daniel Davidson and Matteo Polizzi, and then a great well-taken penalty from Polizzi sandwiched in between that.
So Matteo Polizzi with 2, Davidson with 1 as the subs. 2 subs that came on proved fruitful for the home side Rovers as they beat the Highlanders. Godo with the other, but that's the final here tonight. The Rovers put themselves in good position to win the one if you could plate. Michael McCall, Gideon Hill, Joe Deasy, our stats man. Thank you, Sports Canada, for the stream. We'll see you Wednesday, July 12th when the Highlanders, or I should say the Sounders, visit the Rovers here on Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night and have a good work week, guys.
They're lucky that there was not much time left. I could have gone on a big stand out. Each week's me going, oh no, don't get Michael started.
Yeah. Who was fouled for the penalty? Davidson?
No, it was Polizzi. At least I've not lost my voice for the radio show, so that's good. Okay, have a few fun couple of weeks, and I'll see you week and a half, 2 weeks and a half.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
Cool.
Hey.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
See ya.
Alright, see you later.